Good afternoon. Today is Monday, June 21st, 2021. I'd like to share with you the gospel passage we heard yesterday and a commentary from Living the Lectionary. I had shared that resource with you last Monday. You can find it on the web at livingthelectionary.blogspot.com. Here's the gospel passage in the New International Version. This is Mark 4:35-41. That day when evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was, in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this that even the wind and the waves obey him?" It was Jesus' idea to sail across the lake, but it was the disciples who took him in the boat just as he was. It's an odd thing to say, but perhaps it explains why Jesus is sleeping in the stern while the disciples struggle to keep the boat from sinking. Just before setting out to sea, Jesus had been teaching all day. Before that, he was hemmed in by crowds trying to touch him for healing. He was outed as the Son of God by demonic spirits, and at the same time accused by Pharisees of being in league with the devil. And to top it off, his own mother told him to stop acting like a lunatic. No wonder he needed a nap. But just as he was is more than a reference to how he was at that moment. Jesus is the "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundations," as we heard in Job 38 verse 4, and yet cannot keep his eyes open in the center of a cyclone. He is weakened and wearied by wearing human flesh, not as a garment one can take off and send to the cleaners, but real-life flesh and blood, skin and bone, muscle and sinew, organs and beating heart. When the storm causes the disciples' courage to melt away, and they stagger and reel like drunkards at their wits' end, as we read in Psalm 107, verse 27, they awake the one just as he was to question his motives and ability. "Don't you care?" means they want and need him to be more than just as he was. Maybe we do as well. Perhaps we prefer a Superman Jesus who swoops in to save us, or a supermarket Jesus who provides for all our needs, or a problem-solving Jesus who resolves all our dilemmas. I'm not saying Jesus doesn't save or provide or address dilemmas. Jesus stills the storm for the disciples, and for us, he is a very present help in times of trouble, as we read in Psalm 46. But an equal, if not greater, truth is that Jesus became just as we are, so that we might become just as he is, or better, maybe it means we can be like Jesus and be just as we are at the same time, frail and foolish, and yet filled with faith, that on a good day we might even still a storm or two for people who are perishing. I wish you a pleasant evening.